Howdy folks, today we are going to go over one of my staple exercises in almost anyone I work with's program, and that is a no arms dead bug. So this would be one of the first regressions or progressions that I would give someone who we need to work on our ability to keep our spine stable while learning to move our arms and legs. Now, I would have millions of dollars if I just had 10 cents for every time that I've had someone come to me and say, man, I've tried these dead bugs in the past. They're just way too easy. I don't really feel anything while I'm doing them. I'm not sure what the point of this exercise is. Every single time that's happened, it's just been because we didn't pay attention to the right details to make sure that our body was in the correct position, and we were doing a couple of key things to actually get some benefit from this exercise. Trust me, with the few key tweaks that I'm going to show you in this video, I've had guys who can deadlift over 600 pounds and hit golf balls 400 yards, shaking and sweating profusely. If you're one of those guys, sorry for calling you out on that video, but you know that eventually with the key attention to detail, we got a lot better at this movement and we're able to progress to more difficult exercises to really strengthen our core and keep that low back in a comfortable position. So I'm here on my treatment table because this is a great place for you to learn some of those key details. If you have access to either a treatment table or maybe a thick yoga mat or some thick carpeting in your home, that's where I'd recommend you do this exercise. So I'm going to start by laying on my back. Let's get to it. So the benefit of the treatment table is that I can feel the most important key aspect of this exercise, and that's going to be my low back position and my neck position. So a lot of people who think this exercise is way too easy are stuck in this really big arch. You see how I can stick both of my hands completely underneath my low back, and I can actually kind of touch my fingers in the middle here. What people will do is they'll just kind of go back and forth with this big arch in their low back, not understanding or realizing that what they're doing is actually putting all of the force on our passive structures, our bones and our ligaments, and they're not putting any force into their active structures, which are these superficial and deep core muscles that we're trying to work. The other part that I see people struggle with is their neck. So if I've got this big arch in my low back, a lot of times that also corresponds to a big arch in my neck. What happens now is as I'm doing the exercise, my neck starts to dig into the table. I start to use these anterior superficial neck muscles way too much, and that can lead to a lot of neck stiffness and tightness. So we're going to correct both of those with the help of the table. What I tell people to do is I want you to have very light pressure on your head, and we really shouldn't feel a lot of push from our head into the table. Second, on the other side of things in the low back area, I want you to gently push into the table so that you can't get your hands, or if I'm working with you, I can't slide my hand underneath your low back. All right. Now, there's tons of fun games I love to play if you're in a group class setting for this, but the same concept stays the same. We don't want any space between our low back and the table. Now, the next step is key. We're going to start with no arms because I want you to really focus on keeping a perfect position and being able to breathe. For this exercise, breathing is your friend. If you're really tense, then you're going to overuse these superficial muscles in your core and your spine, and we're not going to work those deep stabilizer muscles. I joke, it's okay to be tense if you're deadlifting 600 pounds, but all we're doing is we're laying on our back and moving our legs. This really shouldn't be that difficult. Now, again, this is my first part of my workout of the day, so this might be a little difficult for me. Pardon my intense breathing, but we're going to focus on getting perfect form with this exercise. So my low back is nice and flat in the table. I'm making sure my neck is relaxed. And what we're going to start off with is just dropping 1 foot at a time to the table. And then once I feel my heel tap gently, bring it back up. Notice there is no movement here in the spine. Let me show you a bad rep. So as I drop that leg, you see this big arch in my back. I can stick my hands in there. You might have seen my neck dig into the table. Okay, I didn't use any of the muscles that we're trying to work on in this exercise during that rep. So let's do a better job this time. We're going to do the left leg again, nice and slow. Notice how I'm able to breathe, tap, and pull back up. Now, if this is too easy, what I like to challenge people to do, just a little physics trick here, is instead of a bent leg, we're going to straighten that leg out, and we're only going to go as low as I can keep that low back perfectly flat on the table. Now, one side might be stronger than the other, so I might be able to get a little closer to the table. Yeah, on this left side versus my right side. But that's okay. We're going to respect that asymmetry for now. And we're just going to go really slow, breathing comfortably, back flat, no bad reps or compensations. So that right there is our no arms dead bug. Trust me, if you do these correctly, you are going to feel it in the right places. You're going to feel a lot more work in your core muscles. Hopefully we can reduce some of your neck tension as well. And you're going to notice that this exercise is a lot more difficult than you may have been doing it in the past. So make sure you go slow, get that perfect low back and neck position, breathe comfortably the entire time, and be patient with yourself. This might take a little while to progress, but this is such a key important exercise for any person that I see. Just the way we live today as society, we don't work these muscles the way we used to. Let's hit some no arms dead bugs to fix all those problems.